Everyone's injured. People are selling Haaland. Steve's not here. VAR's FPL's impossible. Football's dead. It's game week 8.
Thanks, Alf. Welcome back to Wildcard FPL, your home for FPL content. And we've got a lot of injuries to deal with this week. There's a lot of red cards and suspensions. We've got an international break. Are Spurs and Liverpool going to have a rematch after the VAR error at the weekend? And everyone's talking about a Haaland wildcard. Let's get right into it. John, who was good and bad in your team this week?
Right, so on the good side, made the masterstroke of captaining Son. Starting to get extremely sick of Haaland, which we'll get into later. Son scored 7 before going off. It's a bit of a minus risk at the moment, but a nice little return there in an otherwise pretty shambolic game week. And then Alvarez, good old dependable, solid star Man City striker. Got some returns for me as well. So they were pretty much the only 2 good players. And then on the bad side, for reasons unknown even to myself, I decided to get Digne in at Villa instead of Cash. I just literally changed with seconds to go. I think Cash got an assist and Dean got a single solitary point. The other bad player is Erling Haaland. Seems to have hit a dip in form, or maybe just a lot of the play seems to be focused around Alvarez now, and yeah, he's just burning 14.1 million or whatever it is in my transfer budget.
Alf, how about you? Anything go well for you this week?
Not much, but the positives for me are Saka. He got a couple of points, as did our friend Gordon, Newcastle, but it was just a kind of cheeky assist pre-penalty. Real slim pickings for me. It was not a very good game week, but the only kind of 2 positives I can point out really are Saka and Gordon. Lots of people sold Saka as well, so glad I kind of held on to him. And Gordon, he's now suspended, which is fantastic. But I do think there's a positive there. Like, he will be rested, and post international break he'll be coming back. So I actually feel okay about that. It's just something I'm gonna just put up with. From a bad standpoint, I got in Mo Salah. He got 1 point, so that's not great. And then from another bad, Ollie Watkins. It was game week 5. Ollie Watkins, the shining star of Aston Villa, had just delivered his 4th consecutive 5th point disappointment. At the hefty price of £8 million, I found his performances utterly unacceptable. To make matters worse, his value had plummeted to a measly £7.9 million since I acquired him. In the span of just 5 game weeks, he had amassed a pitiful 22 points. And as if that wasn't painful enough, we learned that Ollie Watkins of Aston Villa was no longer on penalty duty. Meanwhile, Julian Alvarez, at a mere £6.5 million, was setting the FPL world on fire with an astonishing 37 points in the same 5 game weeks, mercilessly destroying my rank. The problem was glaring at me like an old man at a deli. Ollie Watkins was sinking and Alvarez was soaring. I knew I had to take action, and action I took. The transfer made perfect sense. Bid farewell to Watkins and welcome Alvarez with open arms, and save a substantial £2 million to invest elsewhere, with Mo Salah being the ultimate target. On paper, this strategy was a masterpiece, so I sold Watkins for Alvarez before game week 6. But oh, what followed was the darkest chapter of my FPL journey. Ollie Watkins proceeded to rack up an astonishing 32 points in just 2 game weeks, after I had foolishly shown him the exit. Meanwhile, Alvarez could only muster a pitiful 9 points. I finally acquired Salah for game week 7, harbouring hopes of redemption. And what happened to Salah, you may ask? VAR, that villainous entity, decided to intervene. It ruthlessly stripped him of an assist awarded to Diaz. He lost his clean sheet point and he picked up a yellow card, reducing his score to a mere 1 point. I'd hoped for a different narrative, a glorious tale of triumph. I woke up that fateful Saturday morning brimming with confidence and ready to conquer the FPL world. Little did I know that I would be ensnared in the VAR Liverpool Diaz scandal, and worse yet, I'd sold a player who almost single-handedly outscored my entire team. This, my friends, is my lament. This is the legacy I leave in the annals of FPL history. This is the story of a 37-year-old, well-meaning but ultimately dim-witted FPL manager, forever haunted by the ghosts of missed opportunities and miscalculations. Bear, over to you.
It sounds like you had a hard week, Fred. My 2 good players were Areola and Shah, only for the basis that they got a clean sheet each. Not much else to report on the good side of my team. Bad for me were Wissa and Mbomo. The likely lads at Brentford struck again, or they didn't strike again rather. They've not had much returns to speak of recently. Mbomo has only had 1 goal in the last 5 weeks, and Wissa hasn't had anything in the last 6. I don't know why I've still got them. They're still doing badly. I'm sick of the whole thing.
Did you wildcard? You wildcarded and kept them both?
I wildcarded Mbomo in.
You can't put that on your... There's nothing you could have done there. Like, it was the right move at the time.
Yeah.
They're going to slap Man United.
I think Brentford might beat Man United.
I think they might as well. I'm thinking about getting rid of Onana.
Steve was right. Steve was right about Man United and Onana pre-season.
Yeah,
we doubted his Manchester United expertise. He called it months ago.
We do. I think what we're learning here is we do need to listen to each other more, because everything we've said so far has been correct, but none of us have done any of those things, which is bad.
I agree.
Which leads us, Jon has been vocal this week about an anti-Haaland team. Going on what we're saying, maybe we should be listening. Tell me about Haaland. Tell me your thoughts.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd like to say that I did bring this up before everyone went for it on Twitter, but I actually got the inspiration from James in our other league, who's resolutely refused Haaland the whole season, just as a point of interest of playing the game without Haaland. I do think he's massively suffering without KDB. There's so many other players in the game that are scoring. I don't think he's going to be hitting those multiple hat-trick games, braces, like he was doing all last season. I think that was so dependent on KDB. So if he's kind of just another striker for 14 million, we've all looked at the midfields that you can put together without Haaland. And then you've got maybe opportunities like Broha, really cheap striker coming in at Chelsea, if they are on the up and up. Very compelling to do a Haaland-less wild card is what I would probably do. I'm not sure I'll bin him off right now.
I've been hovering over the transfer button. I have managed to resist, but without Haaland, you can have Trippier, Salah, Maddison, Son, Alvarez if you want to keep a City striker, Watkins and Darwin. There's just no limit to what you can achieve. You just drop Haaland's points. We do know he's capable of those hat-trick games. It takes a strong stomach to get rid of Haaland. Alf, are you tempted?
So I'm completely opposite. I think that I just like my Saturdays and Sundays a little bit too much to do it. I think from my perspective, when I see, and I mentioned this in the one of the previous pods, when I watch Salah play, I'm like, I wish I had him, because he's always getting into good positions, he's always scoring or he's assisting. He's really got back into form recently. So the point being that I hate watching Liverpool play, not because they play bad football or anything, but more because I have not had a Liverpool asset in my team. So for me, it would be exactly the same thing, but times like 2 or 3 with Haaland being out of my team. City are the best team in the country. He has predicted the most points over any other player by quite a long way over the next 5 game weeks. It is risky and it might well pay off, but it could be really killer. Like, it could kill your rank. If you end up captaining Son and then, for example, and then he perhaps doesn't play, and you've got your vice captain on Alvarez as an example, and he scores a kind of, maybe gets an assist or something, and then Haaland's gone and got a hat-trick and 3 BPs, like, it's just going to kill you. So I just think, for me, listen, I respect it, and anyone who's doing it, you're either a little bit mad in my opinion, or just extremely brave. I don't have the minerals for it on my side. You guys can do your thing. I'll be rooting for you in a manner, and I'll be kind of repping the Haaland side of things. So I'll be sticking with him.
I think for me, if I did do an anti-Haaland team, it would be limited to weeks 9, 10 and 11. 9, 10 and 11 for Liverpool and Aston Villa combined are almost the perfect 3 weeks of football. It's not that Manchester City have horrendous games. They don't. They actually have quite good games. I'm certainly not liking the look of City versus Arsenal. I feel like that could go either way. Jon, any predictions for that game, or are you sitting on the fence as an anti-City and Arsenal man?
Yeah, the good thing for Spurs fans is that just whatever that result is, it's good. Points off City, points off Arsenal, or a draw is good. I'm starting to get worried about Luton with Maddison and Son injured, but playing Perisic and Solomon out on the left wing, so that's probably Richarlison in. Makes it even more annoying that I sold Richarlison. He's returned in the 2 weeks since I sold him, and now is probably going to get a permanent starting place. Everything's up in the air. If Arsenal hadn't been playing in midweek and hadn't lost Saka, he was quite talismanic for them, so I think probably City. It's a game where you kind of want Haaland to turn up. He has done in the past, so I'm going to hope that the 3 City boys in my squad annihilate.
I'm leaning the same way. I've got 3 City players and no no Arsenal players at the moment. I'm hoping for a City win.
I think it's going to be an absolute banger game. Like, I really feel like Rodri's out, Saka's out, Martinelli's going to be out. I think it's going to be an absolute mess of a game, and I can't wait. So I'm actually going to be there, which is awesome. I think that's going to be a real Haaland masterclass on Sunday. I'm going to call it. Clip it. I think we're gonna see some magic. I'm gonna captain Haaland. Haaland out, Arsenal away. Salah's Brighton away. Son Luton away. I actually, to be fair, I'm not seeing Son injured anywhere, John.
Yeah, he's if you have a look, whenever he comes off, he's immediately.
Oh right. So it's just an ongoing. It's an ongoing
thing that he's managing. So I'm just saying he will probably be subbed off. And people were saying that because it's Luton, potentially they might start.
They'll score two goals or something, and then maybe he'll come off.
Yeah, they could try this Belize guy that came on at the end that was about to tap in goal that Matip put in. So
then bring Son on to clean it up if necessary.
Yeah, I think I'll be captaining Haaland because there's so many injuries and injury management at Spurs. I wouldn't captain Son or Maddison, so I'll be captaining Haaland as well.
It's horrible, isn't it? Sometimes the stars come together and you expect to be able to make an easy decision. If Son wasn't a minute's risk, it would be an insta-captain for Son. Let City and Arsenal duke it out between them, come away with a 1-1 or something, and Son can have a hat-trick. And it just never seems to work out like that, especially this season. So who knows? Who knows where it's going? I don't think I'm going to captain Haaland. I think I might give it to Maddison if he's a bit less risky than Son. Who knows? I might get scared.
He's got 2 goal involvements in every away game so far this season. So it's a good pick if he keeps up that form.
Salah versus Brighton away, that's going to be tough, but you could see Liverpool being pretty up for that game given what's happened this week with the VAR stuff. I think they're really gonna come out and do something there.
Yeah.
So it could be a good shout to go for Salah actually. Like, he'll play probably 90 minutes as well. Brighton have looked really bad.
Yeah, they've looked terrible, and they're slightly weaker at home. You're spoilt for choice.
Brighton have a lot happening right now. They got Europe this week. They got injuries. Estupinan's out. They have a lot going on. So I think that actually, a Salah could be the move. Haaland or Salah.
So are you two thinking about any transfers this week? I mean, I've got big problems in my team. I don't think I can put out 3 working defenders. So I have to do something with my team, or else it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. It might be Burn at Newcastle for me, although Newcastle don't seem to have many players still playing football. So I might have to do some second thoughts about that. Are either of you two thinking about anything? Are you Sakaing out, or are you thinking something else?
I have some issues. So I've got Gordon, who's out suspended. I have Botman, who's out injured. The issue that has arisen today is that Estupiñán is now out. I had him playing and I was feeling okay-ish about my team in that respect, but he's out now. Saka's going to be out. So I was planning to do Saka to Maddison. That was my thinking today. Initially, that was Saka to DRB, and then I also flirted with the idea of doing Saka to Bowen. So I think it'll be one of those 3, depending on injuries and such. The Bowen and Derby are injury risks now. So I am actually liking the idea of getting Maddison in. Triple up on Tottenham could be the way to go. And then do I do a -4? Yeah, Bear, to your point, getting Burn in maybe for Botman. That might be the move. Or Estupiñán out for maybe an Aston Villa defender. I've got Kabore playing against Tottenham. That's how bad things are for me right now. I'm not wildcarding. I'm not going to do that. I thought about it today briefly, but I'm just going to keep going. If I do a -4, Estupiñán, Saka out for perhaps like Cash and Bowen or Maddison, like, I feel pretty good about that. So yeah, I think I'll be doing a -4 this week.
John, what are you thinking? Are you thinking any transfers this week?
I'm thinking about wildcarding straight away after the international break, depending on the injury situation after that, but hopefully there's some players rested as well. I think I would like to -4 out Estupiñán just in case Son does get rested. That means I have to rely on Wissa coming in. So I would like to get rid of Estupiñán for Cash for that Villa run, and then I'll probably use my free transfer Saka maybe to, I can't say his name, the Liverpool midfielder that just joined, that guy. I'm banking a bit of money. That would be a -4 because at the moment it feels a little bit close to, if Johnston suddenly gets rotated out or something.
Yeah.
I've got Areola playing against Newcastle. I'm pretty sure Newcastle will score. I've got reasons to make some transfers. I think risk a -4. Yeah.
Saka for Diaz is not a bad shout, is it?
I think Diaz will be more selected, and I'm going for a differential.
All of Diaz's goals get disallowed anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Liverpool are going to have the freest run from referees in Premier League history.
They get a hall pass on red cards. Yeah, in terms of Liverpool's fixtures, they've obviously got 3 very easy fixtures now. After that, they've got Brentford, which Brentford right now are not playing very well. Maybe with some injuries back, they'll improve. Then they've got City, which we know is a tough game, but then they've got Fulham and Sheffield. So really, apart from one game
Palace.
there, it looks like a real run. An unfettered run of good fixtures for Liverpool. It's going to be hard not to stock up on them. It just depends on which ones you go for, which ones you can afford.
I'm thinking Diaz actually might be the move. I think I'm going to do Diaz and Salah double up. I like that. So I would be cool to hedge bets a bit with maybe with Bowen or JWP or a Diaby, but I think Diaz. Gakpo's injured as well, so that's massive.
Yeah.
So Diaz will definitely be starting.
Cash. I'm getting cash.
I'm getting cash.
Oh, it's tricky, isn't it? It's tricky out there.
Just in terms of being like a Premier League fan, I can't remember so many high-profile players getting injured this early in the season. Let's just go through this crazy injury list. Top players. Arsenal have got Saka and Martinelli out. Villa have got Diaby out. Chelsea, Chilwell, Bro has a doubt. Mudrik's a big doubt. Crystal Palace, Eze's ruled out. Liverpool have got Gakpo ruled out. United, Lisandro Martinez is out for months. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is out. Luke Shaw is still out. Sergio Reguilon, their new signing, he's also out. Newcastle, absolute bloodbath. Harvey Barnes, Joe Willock, Sven Botman, Gordon, Callum Wilson and Joe Linton all ruled out or injured. Spurs, things going bad to worse there. Perisic out with the ACL for the whole season. Brennan Johnson, the new signing, is out. Manus Solomon's just gone out for 3 months, and Son and Maddison are managing injuries. And then West Ham have got their star player, Jared Bowen, is injured out at the moment. And then there's Man City. There's Rodri and KDB out. Could go on and on and on.
The international break can't come sooner for some of these players. I don't know how they play so much football. I've never really been concerned about footballers that much, but I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. Like Saka coming off the other night, he just hobbled off the pitch at like 33 minutes, and you could just tell that he's absolutely like just playing like it's the end of the season. It's a mad scene.
Who do we think is the punt of the week this week? Maybe a lesser selected player who we think is going to bring home some points. We'll limit ourselves to one, then we can't go too far wrong. John, who are you saying for punt of the week?
I'm going to choose Richarlison. Might seem like a bit of an easy one because it's Spurs versus Luton, but Perisic, Johnson and now Solomon are all out on the left wing, so I'm pretty sure Richarlison has to start. He's got 2 assists in the last 2 game weeks and he's only 6.7 million, so you could swap him for Mbomo or someone in your midfield and bank a bit of cash. Richie for me.
Alf, how about you? Who are you saying punt of the week?
Yeah, I want to go real differential here, so I'm going to go with Castagna versus Sheffield United. So Fulham defender, they were doing really well. He's super attacking defender, as we know from last season. He's expected just 3.2 points versus Sheffield United for this coming game week. 12.9 points over the next 5, and I like him. I think he's going to get a clean sheet and perhaps an attacking return as well. So Castagna for me against Sheffield United.
Nice. I am going to go with Casemiro from Man United. Casemiro is the 5th highest scoring Man United player this year so far, and he's only 5.4 million. The top 2, Bruno Fernandes and Rashford, are both well into the 8 millions. He's got Brentford this week, who are looking absolutely shocking. And I don't care that I've got 2 Brentford players. I want Manchester United to score all the goals against Brentford to teach them a lesson. And I think maybe Casemiro is going to be the one to do that. He's played 90 minutes in the last couple of games. Can see another 90 minutes out of him this week. So let's see what he comes up with.
Heard it here first. Free hit, Castagna, Casemiro and Richarlison.
Absolutely. If you're really backing yourself, wildcard those 3 players in now, and good luck to you.
But let us know how it goes.
Let us know how it goes. And on that note, leading into game week 8, we're praying that something goes right this week and there's no more injuries. If you have any tips for us on who we should be picking or who you think the punt of the week is, let us know in the comments below or hit us up on Twitter. As usual, our handles will be floating around on the screen somewhere. If you aren't subscribed to Wildcard FPL, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.